All right, Pillar Gaming. MCRN. I'm going to go ahead and call that as a battleship. And a JSDF. Looks like some kind of swarm. Gonna assume frigates. Strike me down if it's not. Meanwhile, more MCRN on the OSP side. I am going to go ahead and say that this is a mass driver array up here. Gonna guess 3 of them plus a long-range radar. We'll see. And HLS. 450 line ships. Let's see. And third boot on our neck is probably a container ship. Let's see how we did in the pre-game calls. Someone will correct me, I'm sure, in comments. Here it comes, the swarm is a frigate swarm. We're 1 for 1 so far. See PD on that one. Missiles also, probably. Take a look as it slows down. It is blank on the top. E-War. What's on here? There are the cannons that I was expecting. Quite a few less cannons. And some 120s. So it looks like they've opted for a more well-rounded, not just 120s everywhere cheese. Down here, this is a pair of gun CLs with the missile backpack. S3Hs, yes they are. Meanwhile, Philothanic has taken 450 Axfords. Healthy amount of PD on those. And to round it out, we have another 450 BB with a escort, gun, beam, DD, and an E-War frig. On the other side, up here, show me mass drivers. Yes, 3 plus EWR, or long range. That's what I said. Down here, it's going to be a missile all in. Is it actually all in? Yes. So, no point defense, no DC teams at all. He's going to barf missiles and win or lose. Over here, 250 Acello. That's going to be backed up with some Plasma T30 monitors. Pair of them, yes. And an EWR. And, hey, there's the cargo. 3 for 3. So let's take a look at the opening positions. 450, Axford's going to C. That's fairly standard. Here comes the right flank push. Gotta love it. So reliable. And by that, I mean not reliable. Banjo-Kazooie almost clutched that last one, yeah. But people do love going this way. I see it a lot. They feel safe from this big pillar, even if they turn the corner and get a face full of uh-oh. They still do it. Frigates going through mid. I like that. Pushing straight to A's. Probably the best place for them. Whatever they run into, they can engage or do whatever to. And the gun CLs coming up around low A. This is interesting. I could be wrong. I feel like this is kind of a new position to play. I don't see it too often, although it is a pretty interesting place to be. From here, you can fire into A and stop an E-push. Team 2 E-push, fairly popular. You've got this big rock, a lot of cover. You're covered from the other direction. So I do like this position. The only problem with it is if the enemy team does not come this way, you're kind of stuck out of position. You're not able to fight at all on the BC lane. which is up here, also very popular. And looks like this Ocello wants to go that way. Interesting. They've somehow sussed out where these mass driver monitors are and are shooting at them. I guess this is within spyglass range. They absolutely do not have a lock, but they're gonna fire at it nonetheless. Yeah, this has to be a spyglass lock. These rails absolutely going all over the place. Did anyone bring Elint? No. No, I assume one of these ships has a spyglass on it. Let me see if I can find it. Yep, there it is, the spyglass. So from this distance over there, that spyglass is probably what's sighting them in. Unfortunately, shooting at a spyglass, not a great idea. Noted by the fact that this tug has been hit 0 times. Let's take a quick peek at the rest of the game. Ocello looks like it is pushing C. It's going to have a battle royale with these Axfords in the middle if they don't pass each other like ships in the night. Meanwhile, these rails getting some fire onto this Axford. Not a huge fan of mass drivers firing at capital ships. Yes, they do damage, but with the way that the HE deals damage, it's never enough to do anything serious, and they don't have a great hit rate to begin with, in my opinion. Especially, for some reason, they are missing. It's likely a result of no track correlators on this 400, meaning this is just barely better than a frontline lock. I believe it's 20 meters standard, which is going to let this Axford continue pushing. It looks like it doesn't want to go for a point. It wants to go for this mass driver. It's annoyed, it's bothered, it wants blood, so it is going up. Meanwhile, these containers have sighted in on the frigate swarm. Frigate swarm's going to say, no thank you, I don't think so, as all the RPF and defenders engage. Absolutely no way these are going to hit. I said there we go. Absolutely no way these are going to hit. And this frigate swarm is looking like it's had a little bit of second thoughts about taking A. Perhaps it doesn't know if there are mines there. Oh, no, it's because it's seen the monitors. The absolute barf. However, oh, wow. Okay, so the emojis do show in-game. I've not seen that before. Yeah, Bloodhound, also 30. Yeah. So, not the best of tracks that those mass drivers are shooting at. If you are going to do something like this, you need to take a long-range radar, and you absolutely must take preferably 2, but at least 1 track correlator to give yourself a good enough shot at having a bunch of S2s slam into you and kill one of your frigates. On the back of that, PDNet slowly getting taken apart, already lost 1 frigate, as these missiles undoubtedly will be shot again. The only chance this frigate swarm has to avoid something like that happening again is to run away or engage heavily on the missile carriers. They might not know how vulnerable they are, though. Instead, they are opting to come up and engage this Ocello with the help of the 450 Axfords. 450 Axfords way out of alignment here. They want to be bow on. Instead, they're eating plasma to the rear. A couple of mass driver shots coming in, and unfortunately, this Axford is probably not getting out of this alive. It's lost plenty of armor on its rear, although at least it is getting plenty of help from this frigate swarm. Let's see. Looks like the other Axford fleet has broken off its pursuit of the mass drivers and is instead attempting to engage the Sicelo group. So 3 fleets engaging this OSP push. At this point, the tables will likely turn. It might be too little, too late for this particular Axford, but this Sicelo is getting pummeled. The T-30 monitors are likely to be the next ones up at the firing squad, and that might have been a catastrophic outcome for the OSP. This Sicelo plus these monitors represent the bulk, actually the only frontline units OSP has. They have a missile all in, they have a container, and they have some mass drivers. So if this fleet goes down, and it likely will because it's being cut off and pursued by 4 fleets now. Oh no. These missiles are headed towards oh, looks like the S2 missiles managed to connect with that. Take that out. Some containers coming in here. This Sicelo fleet has made it all the way around, given a brief respite from the onslaught. But it looks like the frigates and the Axfords are going to continue that push. Meanwhile, the other Axford, it's sort of waffling between engaging or not. It looks like for the moment it's chosen or not. Here come another set of containers, most likely going to be taken out. Plenty of defenders still up, firing. Let's see. Looks like some S2Hs went off. Still plenty of missiles aboard these monitors. Here comes another wave. More than likely, they're going to slam into the rear of this CL. Here come the AMMs. Definitely the last of those. And they do little to nothing. Trying to see, these look like they're active radar, or perhaps ARAD, because they're not going for the, oh, some of them are. And there they come. They need to get hits on, there it is, hits on midship, slamming into that CL, slamming into this CL. They're not quite dead, but they are both incredibly crippled. And looks like that player has rage quit out of the game. Unfortunate. Whenever you have a missile all-in type of play like this, it's really just the case that whatever you use it on, if it isn't set up to fight back, it'll usually just die. This is 4 times 16, so 64 S2s at a time. No way is a standard fleet capable of stopping that. Yep. It could be that they were ARAD tracking on the radars on these ships. I'm not sure exactly what they are. Unfortunately, there's no way to tell in Spectator exactly the missile type. But regardless, they do take out that. Meanwhile, up here, some more standoff fire between these Axfords. and the Sicelo fleet. With the loss of those CLs, that is a big blow to the ANS. If these monitors, these missile monitors, are able to either engage this Axford fleet or maybe even this frigate fleet, if they get another volley off against them, it could swing into OSP's favor, especially with how separated these fleets are becoming. We have this Axford fleet. It's getting shot by mass drivers. It's more annoying than deadly, but I suppose eventually it will add up. Looks like these missiles have sighted on this frigate over here. It is... can't remember. It is a spyglass? Yes, a spyglass frig. Probably going to, well, if they are on target, come up and erase that. Looks like he might have dodged. Successfully gets out of the way of those missiles. So good job saving his ship from that. Meanwhile, these Axfords look like they don't want to push. It's sort of an interesting decision. One of them is badly hurt, but the other one is fully fit and ready. Suppose he doesn't want to come in and engage that plasma any closer than he is. Sort of, not sure if I like this. The frigates have broken off and are pursuing the mass drivers. I suppose they figure that they will be able to trap and kill them, as they are at the edge of the map. And they are already opening fire with their 250s. So this player, it looks like they are about to cap A. Yes, finally. 15 minutes into the match, they're capping A. Let's see if these monitors, I'm sure they're moving up. Yep, they're beelining for this frigates. They know that this is a huge threat on the board. They want to dump their missiles against this frigate swarm if they can. Ooh! Some 250 shots coming from the Ocello. This is one of the problems with these Axfords backing off and disengaging, and this frigate fleet moving like this. It's flown into the center of the OSP fleet. Here comes some containers. They don't have RPF available. They're too busy shooting it at the mass drivers. And with that, some serious firepower gets taken out of this fleet. I'm not sure it even has enough to deal with these mass drivers. They are totally out of position. They're getting shot from 3 sides now. And the amount of damage they're doing is not hitting. It's not connecting at all. Meanwhile, more containers are coming in any second now. Yep, there are the S2s I was expecting to come in. They are all going to pour into this one fleet. It's completely isolated itself out here. Only now are they connecting with these mass drivers. And it is doing damage, but it is not going to be enough. Here come the S2s. The only saving grace here for this fleet will be if they happen to all go for the same ship and slam and kill it. They are splitting up. There goes one frigate. Looks like the active decoys did pull off a good number, but that has whittled the swarm down to 5. And it is hurting. Meanwhile, the mass drivers, the Ocello, the Plasma T-30s, these need to be careful, not get into this situation where they're getting shot from the side. That is not the position they want to be. Looks like a slight miscalculation there by this player, eager to help their friends, have pulled out and gotten themselves in a bad position with these Axfords. Let's see if these Axfords, that was what they were afraid of. They did not want to come in against this plasma, but they smell their opportunity. Meanwhile, over here, these S2s... Looks like finally chaff was a secret weapon that needed to be. And this Axford, unfortunately, decision paralysis has left this fleet out in the cold. It's hung around this pillar for way too much time. It probably wants to take out these monitors, but its friend is going to be dead by the time it finally does. Meanwhile, these monitors still have, well, not very much at this point left. Let's see. It looks like these frigates have finally gotten done what they want to do by taking out these mass drivers, though. It's going to come down to basically, let's see, still plenty of containers left on this container ship. The bulk of the combat force left for OSP is going to be this one single Ocello fleet with this 2 T-30 plasma. He does have restores going out. Unfortunately, this Ocello is fighting broadside against the Axfords. And the final wave of missiles looks like it has gone for chaff. With that, there are only 7 missiles remaining. Still this Axford alive. And these frigates are going to finish off the mass drivers. So a good reaction by this Axford player. He saw what was happening to his frigates. He knew he needed to come in and save them. And he absolutely has done that.
The enemy secured zone dagger.
It's going to come down to if this player can get these T-30s to do the damage they need to do. Hopefully he concentrates on the already injured Axford and takes it out. He needs also, these 250s really want to be shooting into the burned armor on this Axford, not the fully healed one. Let's see what happens. Here come the T-30 plasma from one side. Hopefully we'll get the plasma on. He is correctly shooting at the injured one. Well done there. Meanwhile, this other Axford continues to stay at near maximum range. Some excellent play here. This OSP player knows what he needs to do, is correctly assigning targets. Here come the 450s to blast the monitors, but when this happens, the Ocello is going to come back around and re-engage. These T-30 monitors, they need to pour out that damage. They need to get this thing killed so they can move on to the next one. Looks like perhaps 250 AP is not being fired at this this Axford. And there go. Let's see. It's got a reactor on overheat. Here you can really see how tough these things are. Just getting absolutely pummeled by that 450. Still going. Are they able to take it out? There goes one turret. There goes 2 turrets. It doesn't have any restores left. It might be high time to swap and get the plasma out that they can. Here comes the Ocello. Absolute brutal fight here. Let's see what's happening with the other fleets. Looks like these mass drivers are done for. Let's see if these...
The The
Oh,
enemy is securing Zone Comet.
a rocket strike. Slightly off, but still deals a healthy amount of damage. Meanwhile, that Axford's still alive. No choice but to focus on the other one before it does too much damage. Here comes Plasma. Here comes T-30s. Are there any rockets left on this shuttle? No. Well done. Possibly might have been a better choice for this rocket shuttle to get absolute point blank range and then unload the rockets. Unloading the rockets at here where you can see the numbers written on the enemy ship have a much better chance of hitting all of them. But it might not matter. This Axford is moving away in a panic. It's got plasma hit enough for the... And here comes more. So the 250 millimeters now going to be doing full damage. The T-30 also going in. It's...
The enemy is securing Zone Comet.
And here comes the cap from the shuttle as this Axford is getting pummeled. Possibly a severe overcommit here. These frigates flying all the way out here have let the OSP team crush this rear flank. This Axford staying so far back, it's so far away from every other point imaginable. You've got this frigate fleet up at the top dealing with these mass drivers. Yes, they were annoying. They were dealing damage. They probably weren't going to win the game. Instead, flying these two fleets up to the roof so far away is more than likely going to give OSP the win. In fact, at this point, I'd say it's almost guaranteed. This Cicello fleet has done what it needed to do by not dying before it's taken out this Axford. How am I liking the game? I love this game. I have over 800 hours played. Perhaps he doesn't realize I'm not a caster. I am a Nebulous player, just shooting the shit out onto the internet. Oh, this one specifically. Okay, I see. Little misunderstanding there. Great. Oops. There we go. I love all my children. Something weird is happening here. Okay, there. Metal. Am I crazy? Why am I trying to right click to pan the camera and it's not working? I just had an absolute brain fart. Oh well. Anyway, back to the action. Looks like this Axford still alive. It has a rear cannon. It's trying to shoot its rear cannon. It looks like it will shoot its rear cannon into this monitor. That monitor actually might die from that. What happened to the Ocello? The Ocello's here. Nothing in this fight. Is that smoke? No, that's smoke from the monitor. Nothing in this fight has survived without becoming incredibly crippled. This is an EWR tug, so it's not going to be firing. Meanwhile, the last of the combat-capable mass drivers finally eliminated. It's really unfortunate that in a 3,000 point fleet, I see this a lot. Someone brings just like 3 mass drivers. And I don't think a fleet like that is really able to push enough onto the field to make any difference. You can take 4 or at least 3 on a line ship and then take 2 of them. That might be
Enemy is securing zone
a
boxer.
better use of points, but we'll definitely check their damage later. Kitchen sink's coming out. Unfortunately, not getting a lot of hits, it seems. Oh, take that back. It looks like they did kill 2 of the other frigates. The point defense net is so reduced now at this point, but there are no kitchen sinks left. Doesn't look like it matter though. The GG comes out from the frigate player before capturing B. Absolutely critical there. Although, taking another look, it might not matter. All the points are in OSP's favor. All the control points are in OSP's favor. So it looks like that's pretty much it. Even though these Axfords still sticking in, still fighting. So a little bit of a hindsight analysis. Definitely the frigate fleet and the other Axford. I actually didn't see what happened to this Axford. I have no idea. I assume it got killed by containers. Totally missed that. Must have been killed by containers. There wasn't anything up there. So these go to Twitch. And I also upload them to YouTube under Cryptic Nebulous. There you go. That's my digits. Yep, that's unfortunate. I missed entirely what happened to that Axford. Just talking so much about other stuff. So this one clearly in the bag for OSP. The frigates going up that high in order to deal with these mass drivers, in my opinion, is a little bit of a mispositioning. If they had driven to A, to E, to B, to cap them, at that time they had more than enough point defense to blast through these mines here. They would have also been able to engage these monitors. I suppose that is the reason why they ran up there in the first place. They wanted nothing to do with these missile barf monitors. But the result here is very clearly that they have no points. They have no ships left. And because of that, have no game. All right. So much happened there. I'm trying to recall. These CLs very unfortunately got taken out by that missile group. These Axfords had an absolute throwdown, just all-out brawl with this Ocello group. So well played, both of those players. Frigates, frigates are incredibly powerful right now against the OSP. Definitely the best use of them is to go in and push directly into whatever they happen to have. They live so long, they deal so much damage with those 120 and 250 cannons that it's a really big problem for OSP to deal with right now. So the fact that they spent so much time flying out to those mass drivers definitely contributed. Well played to all players. And we'll see if we can get one more final game.